I don't believe you people.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Huh? You people!
You people.
You people.
You people that walk around with one blind eye.
You people.
You people that are knocking down Niagara Falls.
You people who destroy our city.
You people that are lying.
People. You people.
You people that would rather do drugs,
You
drink,
people.
steal, rob.
You people.
You people.
You people.
It's time for you to go.
You people.
You people.
You people. You people.
You people. You people. Get the fuck out of this city and go ruin someone else's.
You people have been chosen to reveal our existence to the world.
Welcome to the edge of the falls. Welcome to the edge of the falls. You people have been chosen to reveal our existence to the world. I'm Brett Byro, a.k.a. the Madman. And I'm joined by...
Ann Skinner from Hannah House.
Oh, that's so cool. And I am the Mystic, Peter Green, and together we are the Edge of the Falls. Hey, I'm going to go preset in all the levels, so you say hi and welcome our guest.
All right, so you guys, welcome. Hey, Jan, first off, what I want to do is tell you to share our post. All right, stop what you're doing right now and share this, and let's see if we can't get some people out here. I'll wait. In the meantime, we will talk about I'm thoroughly disgusted.
What are you disgusted about?
You know what I'm disgusted.
Yeah.
I'm disgusted with the this whole debacle that's going on, and I know everybody is going to say, it's fair and square. I'm not buying it. Don't forget that I was a crypto tech in the military. I know how everything works.
So you know exactly.
Haha, Peter, I'll kick your ass, Peter.
Oh, God! We're gonna die! Oh,
What's up, guys? Let's say hi to everybody out there. I say Kevin, Tim. Kevin, thanks for the good shout out today. Tim Huther, Kim Guthrie, Noel, what's up? Who else we got here? Bear with me here. You can tell I'm kind of digging Carly, my favorite girl. Carly, what's up? I am kind of waiting for a couple more people to get on here. I'm a little bit offended.
They're running to it right now.
Yeah, they're running to get on here. It must be COVID has everybody scared. So, anyways, you guys, a lot of you already know. And from Hannah House, because we've been friends, me and her, for 7 years.
Oh, at least,
maybe,
I
probably
guess around
longer
7. Yeah.
And maybe you remember us. We started Lex's Place.
Right.
It was for teens that had something traumatic happen in their lives, and
exactly.
I believe that we saved a lot of teens' lives.
I think so. I think we made an impact on them anyway.
For damn sure,
yeah,
we made an impact.
We did. We did.
If you guys, maybe it is definitely needed again. Here in Niagara Falls, and all I can say is I think that me, the Mystic, and Ann are perhaps
hooking up a little bit.
Perhaps some big things are in the works.
Yeah.
Tim Huther, I'm. It's not easily that I'm offended. You already know that I'm not offended by shit. Really, I'm trying to tone it down because Ann's sitting next to me. I can't be swearing and being an asshole with the pastor here.
I guess.
And tell us a little bit about you. And how long you've been here. What's going on.
Well, actually, I've been in the city 25 years doing the ministry part of it, but. I'm finding as the years go by, now instead of giving diapers to the mothers for their babies, I'm giving diapers to the babies for their children. So you can see where it's really, it's been a long time.
Know what? I remember that, when we were doing Lex's Place, on how you were taking care of one of the mothers and the daughter was in, Lex's Place, or you had, probably gave, diapers to one of the mothers for an actual child that was in Lex's Place.
I know. I don't do so much of that anymore with the diapers and that. I've kind of geared off to writing books and prison ministry, writing prisoners, and actually going out in the street with Joanne from the Magdalene Project. We go out 4 days a week and try to give out right now it's a bag of goodies. and maybe some hygiene stuff and stuff like that. And if they need prayer or whatever, we do that too, you know.
Awesome.
Anything to encourage.
I think that's how we originally were going to start off with Lexi's place, was giving out hygiene.
We were
bags.
until we
Remember that?
started swearing.
Yeah. Damn.
Soap for your mouth.
Yeah.
Did your mom threaten you with that, Ann? Did she ever threaten to wash out your mouth with soap?
No, I never swore.
You were a good girl.
No, I wasn't a good girl. I hid it all from my mom.
Hey, Kevin Hutchinson's here. Hey, Kevin, good to see you.
Yep. Christina Raymond, I think you're new, and we got Tony from Arizona. Where the hell you been? I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, we've seen him off and on. By the way, Brett, have you noticed that shrill, irritating whining sound? It's gone.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's been in the studio for a while. It's gone.
Oh, it kind of bored me, anyways.
I know, but we got it fixed. So there you go. That's some housekeeping for tonight.
Yes. Okay, Peter. So go ahead. You got anything you want to talk?
Well, first of all, I'm excited that Ann's here because I think she can offer us a good perspective of what's going on in the street itself. I mean, we always think that when we think of pastors and churches, etc., Jesus didn't say, build buildings, go in there and worship me. He said, go out into the world. And Ann and her colleague, who I know, Joanne Lorenzo, do just the real work out there. They're not, there's nothing flashy, nothing grand about it. There's no cameras following them. So I'm really excited that she's here. And it's been a great week. We've got lots of good things happening. And other than that, we're about to launch the Niagara Reach on Wednesday nights. That'll probably be in the next 2 weeks, and that's going to be rather exciting. Wow. So, yeah, lots here at Yowowa Media, and we'll tell you more a little bit later. But back to Ann, because we want to hear what it's like. What's an average night like for you?
Hang on. I just got I try to stay up to date. Yeah, look at that. Oh, look. But anyways, a comment came in here, from Tony in Arizona, and he watches our show quite often and comments in a lot, but he said something on here, grumpy Trumpy, lost bigly, and to suck it up, guys. So it's funny how after a couple of days, Tony, you expect us to suck it up after we've been through this shit for 4 years of being called a racist, a bigot, fascist, and however else they chose to say about Trump and Trump supporters, and now we just pretend everything's gonna be fine. All right, sorry. Go ahead, Ann.
Where was I now?
We were talking about the number of people with attention deficits that you have to deal with. Yeah.
Oh, my word.
No, on the streets. You go out quite frequently to minister.
We go out Monday to Thursday for just a few hours every day.
So what happens?
Well, every day is different. And, it's kind of exciting because you go out there and you're not sure what you're going to expect. But, honestly, we meet so many wonderful people. Some are homeless, some are living under a bridge, some are just out there making money on the street. Some of the women, some are hookers.
I'm just kidding, Ann.
I tell like it is. But I mean, they're sweet people. And, I found that their hearts are so pure. They may be involved in drugs, or they may be homeless, no job, stuff like that. But when you talk to them, you can see the real person from the inside, that you don't see a lot of that in other places. And it's kind of good.
That's wonderful because you're seeing the human being.
Exactly.
Not what they're doing or what they're labeled as.
No. A lot of people do label them, too.
Do you find they open up to you on the street?
Exactly. Yeah. But you know why? Because you don't try to throw God down their throat. You know what I mean? And that's for real.
It's funny. Did me and you ever argue about this with Lexi's place? A lot.
I think I won. He kicked me out, but I think I won.
I didn't kick you out.
No, Brett was very understanding. Haven't seen him in 7 years, but he was very understanding.
Took him a while to cool down.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's cool.
You remember the Gazette ad where they said Brett Byro hard nosed, but the kids seemed to love him.
And they did love you.
I know,
because you had bacon in your pocket.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We fed them and took care of them. No, you know what it is that we let them be them.
Exactly.
I think maybe sometimes you got mad about because I was a little bit more open than you and said, hey, if the kids The only thing I didn't let them do was smoke. Me and you agreed on that. There was no smoking.
It probably would have been safer if they smoked.
Right. Well,
because some of your language was really funny.
my language was pretty bad. But listen,
that.
it's funny that you guys already know that for me to say, okay, you guys can do what you want, be who you want. I don't care, as long as you're not cutting on each other, picking on anybody.
Yeah.
If anybody's not making fun of something and not trying to kill each
That's
other,
true. They love you.
Then saying fuck doesn't mean a damn thing. You with me?
Ooh, I'm getting a hot flash.
You know what I mean?
No, it's true. I always say to people, be yourself. Be yourself. And I've said it to you too, Brett. Just be Brett,
And again, it's funny that, right from the get-go, how parents would come not knowing who the hell we were or anything and drop their kids off, and they just built a big bond. You know that, Andy?
Yeah, I know.
And then what we had was, a list of the top kids, that we knew were going to influence the other kids.
That's right.
And we allowed them, the teens to help the teens. I don't care what anybody says about, how things. You're going to identify more with somebody who is your age, that's gone through the same shit as you.
That's true.
And sooner or later, what we had, you already know it, was a big group of 26 kids that all loved each other.
Yeah, and they really did. They were like a family, weren't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they identify with each other right away. Bam. I don't care what it was. If they knew it was something traumatic that happened
Peer
in their
support.
lives.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a couple of good comments here. One that will reflect on what you're saying there, Ann. Kevin Hutchinson, he's a great follower of all the different shows here. Says, a true story, Saturday night, my kids wanted a cold drink from 7-Eleven. And he drove to LaSalle because he feared to take them downtown somewhere closer to his home. And these are the streets you're working on every night or when you're out there.
Yeah, we go through the day. That's true. It's true. It's always safer. Like I say to my niece, she may be coming to live with me, and I'll say, well, you're not going out at night. You know what I mean? It's just safer. It's just precaution. You take...
Look at it. Don't take a brain surgeon to realize that the shit isn't like it was, back then. It's not safe. It's not, we've seen me and Damon Grant. I don't know if he's listening or not, but I went to help him move a chair for his mother. And, when I was coming around the corner, I seen, must have been like 20 people fighting.
Yeah.
So of course I stopped. I watched a little bit. And then I watched, a car pull up and hit one of the chicks. It was one of the girls. Hit the chick. She flew up in the air. She fell on the ground.
Wow.
I just don't get it. Now, I guess, it's happened quite a few times where, people are dooring it, them going by and hitting them with doors or intentionally trying to sideswipe people in the city here.
You know what's wrong, though, Brett? I believe that a lot of the kids, the teenagers growing up now, it's so different from when you and I were kids, eh? Like we would have a beef or something and then we'd go have a coffee. It wouldn't be like that. Or you maybe punch them out and then pick them up off the street and say, hey, come on.
And you were buddies after that.
Yeah,
right.
let's get over it.
Right, or if you want to try it again, let's meet you tomorrow
do it
at the park.
Yeah, something like that. But the kids nowadays, I think they're really searching for something. And this is their way of feeling important, that they can fight or whatever they're into. And then they get caught up in this sometimes. And then they go home. And I've spoke a lot of times and I've said, you go home and you're not happy. You're really not happy. And you crawl into bed at night and you're, all that big prestige where you got the muscles and you're beating up this one and doing this drug and that. There's always a period where you end up alone and you're empty inside. And I think
I get what you're saying. I mean, you've had this conversation. So I think now maybe society, Ann, has made it cool to be the tough guy, be the bully, be the drug dealer, be the bad boy. Especially here in Niagara Falls, it's kind of like a badge of honor, for Niagara Falls to be a bad city to live in. Unfortunately, these kids aren't realizing that it's really bad when. Peter puts the wrong phone number on the screen.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So anyways, Lee should have left it up there. Somebody else is getting calls, and they're like, what the hell? This ain't the edge of the falls. So anyways, where I was going with that, is, now it's cooler to do drive-by shootings, do drugs. They glorify prostitution. They glorify drug dealers. Having that nice car, taking the easy way out, unfortunately, I call a spade, and
Yeah, and that's true. But then where is the alternative? And that's why when you and I did Lexi's Place, at least we gave an alternative to 25, 30 people, 30 kids.
Right.
There was an alternative. Nowadays, I know people that have teenagers, and this is firsthand. I know people that have teenagers and have tried and tried and tried to get somewhere for them to go to get help. Or to keep them super busy, or to do this and that, and not very many places. I don't even know. I can't even name
there's nothing
any.
around here.
No.
It's funny. Peter's doing something, for the Yowowa kids, for the younger kids.
Yeah.
But younger kids
good.
and older kids don't want to mix.
No, not at all.
No. It's just like, and me and, not that, you know already, and Peter knows that, I have a heart. No matter what anybody says, no matter anybody says.
He does.
No matter anybody says he's a racist, he's a backstabber,
not,
blah,
no.
blah, blah. You're all full of shit. Half of you are sissies anyways. And you know what? You believe your own bullshit. So, if you're listening to this and you're one of those people that's going around saying, anything bad about Brett Byro, you have no idea. And I'm sure.
Okay, I'll stop.
That all you are is a keyboard warrior on there because you've never done anything or will stand for anything in your life anyways. Okay, on that note.
That's a good rant. No, well, let's talk a bit about kids because I know, Ann, we're going to be chatting a little bit about Hannah House later. Pardon me, about Lexi's Place, and I wasn't privy to seeing that in action.
Okay.
But I've met kids who were really impacted by it.
Really?
One of the things about our community is that we need, in the background, you can probably hear that the heart surgeon's coming for Brett.
Brett or me, one or the other.
No, one of us. Anyway, but what we were going to get at was we run this program called Yo-Yos, and it's for young kids, and they do. And Kevin Hutchinson's son is really into this. He's 8 years old, and he's very creative and stuff. And we've got a whole group of kids, but we do talk about turning this facility into something that Lexi's Place could utilize because they all communicate by social media. They could create their own podcasts, their own help groups, etc. So we're looking forward to being able to offer that as part of a renewed program.
That's good.
But this would be their thing. We stay out of their way,
Yeah.
I think just jumping back real quick, to Lexi's Place, there's one thing that was able to get these kids to open up really fast is we didn't allow their parents in. We didn't.
I think that's a big thing. Yeah,
I
that
think
was a big thing.
That and talking to other teens that were going through somewhat of the same thing or maybe the same thing, or I don't know. We had a girl that was being raped by her dad. We had I think the first 11 kids and the first 11 came out that came forward to us that had tried to commit suicide.
Oh, I know. It's just
we thought we were just going to give out
pizza.
Pizza and
that Brett
and
used to buy all the time too.
and give out hygiene bags to these kids and kind of make them feel better. And then it just turned into a great bigger thing.
It did.
Because you discover the needs that are real out there. There's a lot of misconceptions. If you go to churches, I'm not a big fan of organized religion, although I'm Christian.
No, I'm not either. So don't worry about
it. And so you go into a lot of churches and they talk about the poor and the poor need this and we'll give this to the poor. And what they don't know with young people, with the poor, with the lonely, the aged, is that their needs, we often don't even know them. And when all of a sudden you find out that for all the things you could buy, a pair of socks might be the best thing you could give a kid.
True.
Or someone on the street.
You know what the best thing you can give a kid
is your time.
Time and attention.
Yeah.
And show them some love. Half of these kids in the city here, I don't care what anybody says.
That's true.
Whether you're from a suburban family or where you're at, if you're in the city,
that's true.
These kids are from broken homes, drug addicted homes. We were lucky that we didn't have. I hate to say it, but kids that were hooked on drugs or anything like that. And I don't even know if we were lucky. There was a lot of phone calls that we got to, we had, the ex-police chief and some LCSWs and, other people, that, were able to take calls if someone called and said they were going to kill themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe you could talk them down. Me, I'm a little bit rougher, and
they listened really good to you, though.
They did listen to me.
They did. They respected you.
I think that's
they respected you.
And Boo Boo, and
your son, right,
yes,
Boo Boo?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we just had an announcement come over the messages. Patty Hayes is here.
Charlie Charles, good idea, brother. He just said, let's take a group to the Bills game next season. You got it. You got it. You're on. As a matter of fact, you seemed like you were kind of a little bit of an influential person that, these kids need to hear from Charlie Charles also. And not, I hate that you guys, I don't shoot, I shoot straight from the hip. I don't bite my tongue.
Don't bite your hip.
What's going on nowadays is, that society is creating sissies. I hate to say it. One thing that I didn't do is allow them to cry, allow them, to act out or anything like that. Not that I didn't allow them to do it. It's just that once they had some attention, realized that people cared about them. That stuff, that didn't work. Obviously, when we were telling them to tell their stories or something, it was a little bit different.
It was touching.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, that it's needed again, and that people don't realize how much depression, it is, out there. I mean, look around Niagara Falls, and then you tell me, that the kids here in Niagara Falls don't need this. Not just white kids, not black kids. Everybody came to Lexi's place, right?
Exactly.
Again, I was amazed that parents didn't even come in to meet us or anything. They would just drop their kids off. Here, you guys, go on in here. Have fun. I don't think I met some of the kids' parents.
I know. I didn't either. No. But that was good. But
that's okay. That's good. Right.
Trusted you.
I mean, there was a few big, a few meetings where we invited parents and some other people to come. As a matter of fact, if you,
I can put that video back on.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we had a good showing. We had a good showing. We did good things. And it's needed again.
It is. So when's it starting?
What time is it?
I think we're starting.
I think so too, Brett. I think it's important. I really do.
Chris Fortin, what's happening?
Hang on, I'm going to get you the image from Lexi's place that we had.
Oh, goody.
Oh, you guys are going to love it. So Ann can tell you about this picture a little bit because, it just kind of fell into place where, Lexi had taken her own picture and we were like, oh my God. And, Ann will tell you how she can identify with that picture.
Well, when I saw the picture, Brett said, can you make up something? And when I saw that picture, and that's Lexi, Brett's daughter, and that's her cat, one of her cats. Yeah. Okay? And when I saw the...
Hang on, I got to tell you the name of the cat.
What is it?
Name of that cat is Mr. Big Nuts.
Oh, dear.
Listen, I'm serious. That cat was
named
Mr.
after
Big Nuts.
you, right?
Let's not get off the subject. Your face is red.
Now you can kind of see. We have another cat at home that we just took in, and that was a feral cat, the meanest and son of a gun in the air, and he had one of his eyes ripped out.
Oh no!
It was left eye. So what did we name him?
Left eye.
Oh, poor baby. Oh, no, that picture of Lexi there, when I looked at it, because I was looking for a picture to put on, posters and a book and stuff like this. And when I saw it, and the cat's paws right over her mouth, as if to say, and this is what happens to a lot of kids, is like, just shut your mouth. Somebody maybe they're in the home and they're being molested or something else is going on, and people are saying, don't you dare tell anybody about what's going on.
Or they're scared to talk. They're scared to talk about it. Just not for any other reason except that they're scared to talk about it. They don't want to open up to anybody.
I know.
Or maybe they feel like, everybody doesn't identify with them.
Yeah.
People were asking who's, this is Ann Hannah House, Chris Fortin, so just let you know, I'm sure you guys have heard about her already. If not, you'll hear about us again.
Hope it was all good.
Something has to keep me. Well, the mystic isn't as bad as me, but kind of keep me, grounded, or try to keep me grounded. Unfortunately, fortunately, when it comes to children, I think I do pretty good.
You do.
Still occasional F-bomb, but it's not nothing these kids haven't heard anyways.
That's
Let's
true.
face it.
I think, though, to be honest, I think that was kind of a connection to them because they saw that you were being real. You were just keeping it real.
I think so. I think that did.
And I think it opened up doors.
Even for the Gazette reporter to put in there, that that I was hard-nosed, rough guy, veteran.
Yeah, but I paid him under the table.
Noel Del Zappa would like to know, Brett, Brett says the F word?
Never. I never say fuck Noel. Don't tell it. No, never mind.
Oh, give me a drink.
Here you made me swear in front of the pastor.
It's really funny because we were over visiting friends last week, and their baby was asleep, or their baby was in the crib, and Somebody swore, and Brett says, "Don't say fuck in front of the BABY."
Well, we got to get this straight too about a pastor. I did run a church for a while, and I have given my life to the Lord. I've really dedicated. I found that was the answer for me, and people still call me
COVID.
pastor. No mask. I need a mask.
This is why,
you're
no matter whether Ann preaches, the Lord's name, or the Lord's word or anything like that, what is cool about Ann is just as much as she says about me is that she calls Christians to task. She takes them to task. So,
I get more trouble from them than anybody else, and that's sad. Or I get, how can I say it? It's like
English.
They're so holy. They're so holy that they're no earthly good. Does that
Amen.
make sense?
Yes.
I'm not saying every one of them.
Ann, a bunch of fake phonies. Just speaking of that,
That's true.
well, we'll wait for a little bit. So, there's a lot of fake, phony ass people all around here, that love to talk shit. Brett the racist, Brett this, Brett that. Oh my God, look at the video. Oh my God,
I haven't heard
his
that,
brother
Brett.
is a white supremacist, and get the fuck out of here. Yeah,
I know your brother.
Shut up, Joanna.
Oh my God, they're Nazis and they did the salute. Come on, guys, give me a break.
What people forget, though, is, that if you're going to judge, really, go, and I tell people this, go look in the mirror and look at yourself and see what you can change within you.
And I'm not a damn Nazi. You know what? Todd's not a Nazi either. Unfortunately, listen, you do prison ministry, and half of you people out there already know when you're in prison, not in jail, in prison, and you're doing time, you have to do what you have to do to survive in prison.
There's a lot
that
of them.
That means you can't be a lone wolf in there. You have to side with. Unfortunately, the Aryan Brotherhood, the blacks, the Mexicans, whatever, the Latinos, the Muslims. Well, I guess nowadays, if you join with the Muslims, you're kind of a sissy.
They have good food, though. Like, they have different food things. That's what
Halal.
I heard. I don't know. But,
anyways, I think, back to Lexi's place, is that... I lost my train of thought, or I was thinking about some other shit. Really, it's funny. I have some hidden aggression in me right now that I'm kind of not bringing out.
because everybody's been talking about you?
Oh,
Is that
Jesus Christ! Yeah, you have no idea. It's people that don't know.
They don't know the real you.
They don't know.
That's true.
They know. Everybody kind of puts on a persona on how they want to act.
Yeah,
and how they want to be. I was talking to Peter earlier. I don't have to pretend to be anybody that, I don't pretend. I've been this way for years, since you've known me, back. I was showing Peter some of the original, posts on Facebook and stuff, and this is the way I was back then.
Yeah.
I don't have to change.
No. Did we just got gonged?
He's playing the shark music. So, Peter, what do you got?
What do I got now? We've got a number of things. Brett was thinking about pulled pork sandwiches. Noelle said you saw a squirrel, but we've got one on YouTube, and YouTube is our best format. It's a lot more consistent, better quality picture, etc. So don't be afraid to go on to Yowowa Media, and you can watch it there as well. We're Fallon Lapp, L-A-P-P. So I wonder if it's any relation to Carly. But I'm trying to make out what Fallon was saying. Hello, the Lapp family is represented. That's good. And she says, are you one of the Trump supports? ACC singled out Tim. So I'm really not sure if that's a coded message for Tim, but Fallon wants to know if you're one of the Trump supports that AOC, maybe that's what it was.
I'm a Trump supporter. I freely admit it, openly admit it. You know what? I love my country. I love my family. I can't say that I love Donald Trump because I don't know him. I love the way Donald Trump acts, the way he is, the way he saved it. Peter, shut the music off. The way he stopped American soldiers from dying, the way he cut down on terrorism, and anybody that says anything other than that is full of shit. Or you would never again lace up a pair of boots to go fight anyways because you'll hide like or behind people like us.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm done about that.
Feel better?
Yes, I feel better.
Good. Because I know it's important to you.
It is important to me. It should be important to everybody.
All right. Well, that really kind of set the tone for the next part of the show. Do you want to do a word of the day?
You know what? I think we should do a word of the day. It's
I do too. Give me a second.
Stick around. You guys are going to dig this.
Yeah. Are you sure they are? I'm not sure.
No, they're not going to.
Because I don't even know what's coming. So there you go. Hang on one second here. We're just going to stop something so that we're ready to roll. Bear with me, folks. Okay. Let's bring in the inputs. And you're sitting there going, if you don't cut the voice, I'm going to kill you. That's Jeopardy. Yeah, God bless him, man. He passed away.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that. Yep. I guess everybody's watched Jeopardy at one time in their life. So, here's a little shout out to Alex Trebek.
Yeah, Canadian.
Well, that had nothing to do with it. Just
no, it had a lot to do with it, you know.
Like
a really good guy. He's like Canadian. Okay, so here we are for Word of the Day live from the floor. And now it's Word of the Day from the edge of the falls. Today's word is fake. Fake. And now the madman will use the word in a sentence.
Fake. Don't be a fake bitch and say it to my face. Fake.
That was the word of the day from the edge of the falls. Tune in again next week for Word of the Day.
Yeah. So, anyways, you guys, I'm over all the fakeness in the board shows and the people talking about me. I really don't care. It doesn't bother me. Say what you want. Just do something instead of, just talking about it.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to, see change or do something about, do it. Don't just get on Facebook and talk shit and, message all your friends and pretend like you're some holier than thou dude when really you do nothing anyways.
The world turns around.
No family values, shitty parents, and unfortunately you're causing more harm around here than you're doing any good anything, because when I quit and decide, I'm not going to do nothing, then, who loses?
Hey, Chris Mack on YouTube. Good to see you. And you're right. It is a nice feed on YouTube.
All right, Peter, what else you got?
Well, looking back here, we've got, hang on. They're zipping by. Oh, by the way, Noel says that yesterday they had a moment of silence for Alex Trebek. You want to see the worst moment of silence you'll ever see? Tune in on Funday nights with Noel and Courtney, produced by Chris, and their moment of silence goes like about a second and a half, and then it's bizarre. So go back and watch it, because that's the worst example of a moment of silence since the last time we held one for you, Brett.
Peter thinks he's slick.
I am.
He is cool.
Wasted. Hosted by Chris. Who the hell is Chris? He's the dude that got kicked off that other show.
No, yeah, no, he upgraded.
Oh, I'm just kidding. That was a little shot at
you
them.
Can't
not
hang
a
around
shot,
dull your whole
Chris.
life.
Right. Anyways,
people want me to sing.
Let's talk about Hannah House. What do you got in the works? What are you doing?
What have I got in the works? A newsletter. I just got a machine today, a photocopier today. My voice is going on me.
Do you need more water?
No, I got some things.
Oh, okay.
No, and I'm going to start putting newsletters out in the prisons, but on the outside too. So I want to kind of fill it up. Maybe you can help me in this area with a little tidbit,
Sure.
We can advertise Lexi's place.
Okay.
I can run off a few hundred copies instantly, But just to kind of keep people updated, that's the one thing I notice in the city, having a ministry like Hannah House, is I sometimes go on Facebook and I see the event already took place. I didn't know about it. And I'm online quite a bit. And I'm thinking there's got to be a little bit more advertising, a little bit more going on so people know what's going on,
And not, that I don't knock anything, that you do. You already know that, I just, I don't know. It just the prison ministry is not for me.
Well, you're not in prison. If you
well,
were in there, you'd appreciate
maybe.
it.
I'm sure. I'm sure that I would. I'm sure that I
Yeah,
would.
that's just it.
And you know what? And you could tell me, kiss my ass because
I
if
would never say that.
it makes you happy, and you feel
Yeah.
good doing it, then it's
Yeah.
nobody else's business, right?
No, that's right.
All right. And Peter, if Ann did need some help, in the flyers or whatever,
I could write an article for you, and
Okay, just a little, even something for the streets. You know what I mean? Like a little paragraph, even. I'll put it in there, and we'll get something out there.
you got it.
Just something.
Good. So stay tuned because I'm sure that me and Peter were already talking about Lexi's place in
Yeah.
a podcast, maybe with the teens, or with some of the teens that we've already helped. That they're all great kids and they'll come
Yeah.
forward, and talk again.
Yeah.
Only now they're older now, so Lexi was 14, she's 21 now.
Yeah.
So instead, excuse me.
Instead of a cat, it's a tiger.
Yeah, instead of me, going out, and trying to coddle Lexi, now we go wine tasting on Saturdays.
Yeah, they start with water. Hey, by the way, Carly Lapp asks, and are you part of the Homeless Coalition?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay.
No. I've talked to them before in different states and stuff like that.
Carly, message Hannah House or friend her. I'm sure she'll accept
yeah,
your friend
definitely.
request because Carly is saying, "Can I be on the email list?" So
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, anybody want to call in, maybe chat with Ann. If you've been impacted by Ann's work and ministry, let us know. I mean, it would be great. There's their website, Hannah House. They got this really cool woman holding a dove of peace, I believe that is. Of course, representing the Holy Spirit.
That's a Native American, though. We have a Native American outreach, too.
Oh, I did not know that.
Way out in the boondocks, yeah. Here we used to give out some stuff, but that kind of folded a little bit, and now we're way out in Pine Ridge. We've given stuff out there. We just
Wow.
try to help where we can. Where the need is, we try to reach out.
Sorry, guys.
But,
COVID.
My throat.
Do you need more water?
No, I'm good, brother. I got some
Fine.
water. Oh yeah,
Because I'll spit mine out for you. No, Native, it's interesting because I lived on an Ojibwa reserve while I was in
Okay.
seminary. And understanding a lot of the correlation between Christ and Native beliefs in different cultures. I mean, Native cultures really did differ across the continent. It wasn't just one band of Indians that lived from coast to coast.
yeah, yeah.
So it's really interesting. And that's wonderful that you do it, though.
Well, I find, too, the Native American, like, I love their poetry and I love their prayers. And it's, they talk about the Great Spirit, but to me, that's the Lord. Yeah, but I just love it. I love it. I really do. And I think they've got a raw deal in a lot of ways.
Oh, of course.
it's-
I've said it before. If
it's
there's
sad.
anybody that should hate us, it's probably the
exactly.
Native.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
some of them seem to be over it. I'm sure not all of them are over it, or they harbor ill feelings, or I don't know.
I know. It's hard, though, Brett, if you've been hurt. If you've been hurt or you've seen your family hurt. I got a message from a lady out west there, and this was a couple of years ago, and she says, Ann, there are so many young people committing suicide. She says, I wish you were here. Like Lexi's place would have went great on that reservation. And she says, we're all kind of confined, and there's nothing for the kids to do. So they end up getting, drinking a lot or getting into drugs and then killing themselves.
I get it.
It's really
it kind
sad.
of makes sense. Yeah, I guess again, if you think about it, excuse me, that the natives would have it. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me.
Maybe it was a pizza you ate or something.
The natives would have it a little bit harder, even around here.
Oh, I know.
Some
It's
of them,
true.
don't have running water. Or,
Well, you know what I tried to do? I tried to send some water out to the res. They wouldn't deliver it.
Really?
I was going to, it was through Amazon. I was going to pay for it and just send, a few cases out there. No, they wouldn't take it there. So I don't know why. I should have questioned it maybe, but.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
That makes no sense.
I wonder if there'd ever be a way that if we were able to set something up with Lexi's place here, where a number of the kids might get into peer counseling and using the technology and the medium here of broadcast, to connect with each other, could they ever interact with a native group even elsewhere in the nation, create a bond or almost like a
That might
sister
be
city
good.
thing.
Something like that.
Well,
yeah.
social media is the way to go now. So
Yeah,
of course they
exactly.
could.
Yeah.
If we had a name or a connection or
Yep.
the parents
Yep.
reached out, and they're in Colorado, why couldn't it happen?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be.
By the way, Patty Hayes says, I'm going to crash the studio one Sunday night. I just got to get Peter's permission. No, Patty, you don't have to get permission from me. You have to arm wrestle the Madman. And then you can come in all you want. So, yeah, there's a lot that could be done. And I'd love to see more people piping in with ideas for engaging our youth in positive steps,
or giving them something to do, getting them excited about
that's
something.
Just it. Get them busy
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
something in the evening and a place to be safe.
Yeah.
Because, the other thing too is that you can go anywhere. You can go to a social group or you can go to a school dance, and there's always an element that kind of lean away from the safety issue, and they could be outside doing something, whatever it is. You want something your kids are going to be inside, the adults are going to be tuned in, and it's going to be a place they want to be.
Yeah.
And Carly wants to know, you said you work with Joanne. Do you also work with Bob too?
No.
No? You know who Bob is?
Bob Moore?
Is that who you're speaking with?
Is it Bob Moore?
Carly? We got to wait for her to,
I see,
we got
yeah.
a little bit of a time delay, but she'll answer us.
Uh-oh, Patty Hayes says she's not scared of Brett. She'll lick his hand. You'll get COVID. And we're all sitting here. Are you familiar, Ann, with Bob Macy?
Okay.
I don't know him. Maybe, unless I know him, but I don't know his name.
Ann, are you familiar with Covenant House in Toronto? You've heard
not
of it?
really.
Or?
I've heard about it.
Yeah,
but
I worked for them for a while in Toronto when I was there. But one of the things that they used to tell that made people really kind of cringe was the fact, and I don't know if this applies to you as well, they could be out on the coldest night of the year and encounter, say, a 13-year-old girl who's prostituting herself. They could not take her in the van they were in or this big Winnebago thing. They could not give her a ride to Covenant House because that would be considered kidnapping under Canadian law. So for this kid to get off the streets, she had to walk to Covenant House, blocks away, and run the risk of a pimp recovering her before she got there. Do you have limitations like that? Does Joanne run into those?
We don't really run into that kind of stuff. We really don't. What they should have done in Toronto, though, some of the women should have got off, or some of the men
walked with her.
And a woman walk with her there. But a lot, I don't know how it worked, but... yeah, don't leave her alone if she really wants to go.
Right.
And if she's 13 years old, she probably is desperate to.
In a city the size of Toronto, you got a lot of that going on in the inner city.
Yeah, Toronto's crazy.
He helps this Bob Macy. He does homeless outreach. Sunday nights he supplies stuff from Panera Bread to individuals.
Okay.
Cool.
No, Joanne is located at one part of town, and I'm at the other part of town. But we're good friends. We're in the ministry together. But I just do a different section. Not a different section, but I'm in a little bit different area type.
Remember, we took the Lexi's Place kids down to Joanne's place there and served lunch and a couple times, I believe.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, see, all that's kind of stopped because of the COVID.
Right.
They give out takeout food now or something.
And what inspired you to follow this ministry? Now, I know it could be a call from the Lord, and that can come in different ways.
Yeah.
But I've got friends who read certain books. I don't know if you're close to my age because I'm 61, but you're nowhere near there.
Oh, no.
You're just a kid. But do you remember David Wilkerson's book, The Cross and the Switchblade?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And other things like that inspired people to different ministerial callings. What was yours? Where do you remember your life?
When I was 15, I got involved with this really good-looking man, that big brown eyes, and it kind of melted my heart. And I ended up being in a relationship with him for 27 years, no, from the age of 15 to the age of 27. And I got beat, I got gang raped, I got all that kind of stuff that goes with that lifestyle. I got on the drugs. I don't know, I lived pretty wild. And I ended up doing a lot of things, and that's where I can kind of relate to a lot of people, because what happens is they don't want to get into that lifestyle. I never did, but I got into it, and then I couldn't get out of it. And there was nowhere to turn. You couldn't tell people, well, guess what, Ma, I just got beat up and raped last night, So, there was nowhere to turn. For me, I couldn't find anywhere to turn. And so after that, then I got married. I got married 4 times. And I think I actually should have went.
You didn't learn the first time?
No.
It's kind of like
He had blue eyes.
It's kind of like breaking back into jail, Ann.
Oh, it was terrible. It was I had nowhere to sleep, and I was sleeping in my car in Toronto at the time.
So you married a dude? So you married a dude?
Well, I didn't marry him that night.
I know, I'm just kidding.
But it ended up, this is really crazy, but it ended up that the church that my mom went to gave me a wedding shower because I lied, and I told everybody I was married. Just because the Christians at that time was like, well, you have to get married. You can't sleep around. It's wrong. And so they gave me a big wedding shower. And so I said to him, I told everybody January 22nd, we got married, so just go along with that. Thinking, well, I'm going back up to Toronto, nobody will know anyway. But it kind of escalated because my dad bought me a house. It was bad. It was bad. But I can see where young kids nowadays, like that's like for Lexi's place, it's really good because, you can get caught up in that lifestyle. And I left, after 12 years of it, and kept marrying, thinking, well, this is... But then again, I was brought up with religion that said, if you sleep with somebody, you become as one. And so it was like, oh, my God, I slept with this guy. What am I going to do? And then, a few months down the road, it's like, let's get married, Ann. I say, okay, this is going to make me right before God. And knowing now, looking back, that it really wasn't the way to go. That's not what you do. And God doesn't look at all that. He looks at our heart. And, he's not wondering, well, you didn't have to marry this dude because this dude is doing this and, stuff like that. So... But that's what kind of influenced me a little bit because I was so grateful. I finally came to the Lord and said, God, I'm a mess and 4 marriages down the tube, and yet I'm still not really happy. And I said, I believe you're real, but I feel... I used to walk up the street thinking I was in this bubble, not hallucinating or anything, but actually thinking, wow, there's something wrong with me because I'm kind of wild inside. And yet I go to church. I got high one night and I went to church and they kicked me out. And I was really quiet too. I was sitting in the back seat, but I didn't want to get beat up. And I was hiding from this guy and they came up, they stopped the service. And they come up and they said, you're going to have to leave, Ann. And I said, why? Because they had heard him come in the back door. And I said, you know what you're sending me out to? And they said, we don't care. Like, you can't disrupt our service. And I thought, you suckers, eh? And so then I went out and about 4 years later, I went to that church and I stood up and I said, I want to tell you something. What happened to me, you kicked me out and I got beat really bad that night. And I said, if another girl comes in here, show her some love. Like, what are you representing here, And then everybody came up to hug me and it was like, I don't need your hugs now. I'm all right now, But that's where a lot of the things...
Hypocrisy knows no end. Huh?
Really, and it's true. It's true. Like
just because you go to church doesn't mean that you have a bigger heart than anybody else.
No. Well, you got to remember, it was the Christians that really hung Jesus on the cross. Mm-hmm. It really was. And the Pharisees. So, but I started to see that there has to be a genuine... Not that I'm perfect by any means, but there has to be a certain... Keep it real. Just keep it real, the way you live, and everybody makes mistakes, so try to understand their mistakes and try to help them through it, But, go ahead.
No, I didn't have nothing to say. No, I was just listening to you. That, this show was just to give you some airtime and, keep me on a grounded level. Like I said,
dear.
I was going to go off a little bit.
I'll probably never be back on the show, so hi, everybody.
Between you and Peter, you guys, there's a lot that I want to say, but...
You're just holding it in for next week.
Till next week, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I had an interesting experience, and I think that kind of fits in with what you live at. Uh-huh. The way you live is that some years ago I was in Toronto playing for Mother Teresa, And she came out and met us, like the music team that was playing. It was 1976, and she came and met us, and she was talking to everyone in the music ministry. And then she hugged me, and then she went out her way, and we went out on stage, and then we listened to her a few minutes later come out and speak. And she was talking about when people would come to her ministry in India and Africa, and they would say, "I want to join you," and they come from Europe or the Western Hemisphere or Australia, and she would ask them one simple question, which was, "Why do you want to join us?" And she said when they answered to address poverty or something like that, she would thank them and send them on their way. Yeah. Because she said that the poverty in India and Africa, and I mean, I've been there in both areas, and the poverty there is very much economic. It's a combination of corruption and misuse of resources and misallocation or whatever. But it could be fixed with money, more so than she said. The poverty in North America is isolation, loneliness, abandonment, like you just described, sending you out to face something so evil and just abandoning you to that.
That's right.
And she said that if you don't see the hideousness of the poverty affecting the people in your own country, how will you ever help us here?
That's right.
And she was very much into action on the streets. That's what she did.
Yeah. She was a sweetheart. Like
you mean they believed in helping their people first?
No, what Mother Teresa was saying was, you come from the United States and you're coming to help her in India, and you're coming because you want to address poverty. It means you've ignored the poverty in your own country.
Peter, that's exactly what I was saying. If you read between the lines, you kind of see where I'm going. So they cared about their people first and taking care of the people in their own land or their own backyards.
That's what she wanted people to do, to be able to identify it.
You see, I'm just planting some subliminal messages on why we should take care of our people first.
Yeah. Yeah,
well, it's important. And our poverty in the United States, it's hard to starve. There is food out there and shelters and missions, etc. But what we have, senior citizens, elderly, people who with mental health issues are completely abandoned by our society. They're ostracized. They're left alone. And I mean, I remember all the in Toronto. I don't know what you know of Toronto, but the Queen Street Mental Health Center is in an area called near Parkdale, and there all these outpatients live in single rooms. I mean, they go stir crazy at home. Yeah. And so we used to work at a drop-in center called Our Place, where they would come in and play chess or read books or just watch TV, but they had somewhere to be. These people are abandoned and isolated, and there's nothing more. I don't care. I'd rather be hungry than totally uncared for.
Yeah,
I get it. It kind of like some of the kids are going through almost the same exact things when the parents are on drugs or broken relationships or who knows.
Or some of the parents are buying the drugs for the kids, getting them hooked on it, and
or let's just face it, some of the parents are just plain out scumbags that are abusing their kids.
Yeah, but then you can't even call them scumbags because maybe them growing up was the same thing.
Listen, and I kind of see where you're going, but where I'm going to differ you is that an adult knows the difference between right and wrong.
Yeah, you're right. But then a lot of people don't have that mental, like you're smart and you'll think about that. I'll think about it. We'll all think about it, but there's others that won't. They'll think, "Oh, I'm making my kid happy or something,"
Maybe there's some mental problems. Maybe I guess who knows. And I'm lucky that I've never been put in that position.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of poverty here. What do you think the worst poverty is in Niagara Falls? Worst element of poverty or worst outcome of it?
What is the worst outcome?
Yeah.
Death.
No, I mean, from the poverty. Is it drug addiction? Is it mental illness? Is it isolation? Like, what do you think? Where do we have to start? What do we do to fix this city?
I think we stop enabling the poor.
Yes.
Don't enable them. Give them, how does that go? You give them a fish.
If you give a man a fish, he will eat for a day, and if you teach him how to fish.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the Madman has a really good one on that goes, if you hit a man over the head with a fish, he'll have a headache for a day. But if you teach a man to hit himself over the head with a fish, he'll have a headache for the rest of his life. Anyway, you were saying stop enabling.
Enabling. Yeah, there's just too much enabling. There really is. Because some really need it, but then there's others that really don't. And like the children or the kids, the teens that you want to do with Lexi's, like teach them. And that's what we were going to do anyway, weren't we, Brett?
Yes, I think that, I think that, there's more to the story on how, excuse me, maybe me and, Ann had a little bit of a falling out. And,
we did
things,
every day.
Right, things happen all the time, but,
The battle of good and evil.
No.
But we didn't pass it down to the kids, and no matter how when some person or things don't go your way, it's not like we threw a big shit fit and said
So I'm going to ask.
let's give
I'm going to
up-
ask
let's
the two
give
of
up
you.
Lexi's
What would you
place.
do differently this time if you ran it?
I think I'd be more humble and listen to him a little bit better. Oh, did I say that? Cut that.
you know
Hang
what?
on, listen,
No,
it's-
really,
and
because
it's funny. What did I tell you? I said this time because maybe last time I was so adamant on the kids not wanting to know anything about God. That
Yeah,
this time I
that's
would
true.
I would change the tune. I would think not that we'd push it down the throat, but I would
no.
let you maybe talk a little bit about God or how you interact with the kids. See, before I would cut her off. So the kids don't want to hear that, Ann. The kids don't want to hear about God. They don't want to hear about Jesus. Right now they're
then he'd just tell me, go do the dishes, Ann. Clean up. Go clean up.
feed the kids. No, that's not how it went. All right.
So you're saying about talking about God. The best way to talk about God is to talk with Him and to live your life doing what Jesus said. You want to be like Jesus? Feed, help, encourage, like you guys were doing with Lexi's place. So you can do that and still bring the message. Francis of Assisi said that. He said that preach the gospel at all times. If necessary, use words.
Exactly.
So,
I loved him.
Elizabeth
I just love his
Welsh
stuff.
just said, "My daughter is a freshman at Ohio State, and I have spoken with her several times. Excuse me, concerning rampant drug alcohol use on campus and also eating disorders among the girls. She is quite disturbed by this. These girls are starving themselves and are battling severe depression. COVID is making it 100% worse due to isolation. What is going to happen to these individuals if they do not receive help?"
That's true.
I agree. I think that you're right there. You already know if you've ever listened to my show how I feel, how I act. And especially it's different when it is 19-year-olds or older. Well, she's a freshman, so I'm assuming she's 18. So she might have been in Lexi's place.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I don't have all the answers, Elizabeth, except that if your kids are seriously battling with severe depression and hungry, then someone needs to go and feed them and feed them kids, or they're locked down anyways. This isn't a law. This isn't something where you have to say, I'm going to leave my kids there. Go get your damn kids. Take them. Take them out of there.
And that's a big thing along with
especially
with
if there's suicidal
teenagers.
thoughts or anything like that.
Yeah. And with the teenagers nowadays, especially the bulimic and stuff like that. I
we
worked
had a
in-
couple girls that had eating disorders,
Yep,
in
yep.
Lex's place. So it wasn't just cutting, depression, anxiety,
No,
bullying,
no.
rape. I think
It was everything, I think.
Unfortunately, we've seen everything except for maybe I don't know what it was. Knock on wood, we didn't get the drug users in there.
I think maybe some of them were dipping a little bit. Do you think?
I don't know. I think we pretty much asked them all the time.
Yeah. That's true.
Maybe one time didn't someone say someone smoked a pot, or smoked a joint? So they told on each other too. So it was, they didn't want to hear that, or have anything ruin, the things that were going on. They liked
I think
it.
they enjoyed coming, so they
enjoyed
wanted
it,
to
right.
hang on, make sure it worked. Yeah, it was good.
Well, we've had great interaction here. I do agree. My daughter was in the Renfrew Center in Philadelphia twice, and I went down and spent a lot of time there. That's an eating disorder clinic. And when you see these beautiful young people, both male and female, who are starving themselves, who have an actual psychological disorder based on this, and what society, what the media, what everything does to them, that's the pressure around them that's, I think,
you see
most
what Charlie
horrible.
wrote?
No, I don't have it up. What's that?
Charlie says, let's talk more about Lex's place this weekend. My Bills fan Thunder group will donate $1,000 to help.
Wonderful.
Cool.
Yep,
Oh,
yep, that's awesome.
nice.
That's awesome,
Charlie's
Charlie.
awesome.
Yep, yeah, he
That's
is. You know,
great.
it's funny how you can tell, no matter what anybody says, within the first half an hour that you meet somebody, the type of person that they are and
Yeah.
whether they're telling the truth. I really believe that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get taken advantage of over and over again, Peter, by people that you think are your friends.
Of course. We see
And
that all the
obviously,
time.
Right, we're talking about what we're kind of going through now, and no matter how good you are, how much you try to help someone, you never know when that person is trying to backstab you. And just
Oh,
me
I
and
know.
You've gone through this too.
Yeah,
the same
definitely,
thing.
definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
On that note, it's 8:01, and you know how I am about time.
Yes, I
Oh, my
know
goodness.
your nap time. But before we go, I'm going to ask Ann, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, call Brett, or my email is hannahhouse2002@gmail.com.
Or on Facebook, you can get a hold of her.
Oh, yeah, Facebook.
Right.
I'm Hannah House. I think my mug's up there behind a pulpit or something.
And I think
yeah.
you said you started Parlor, right?
Started what?
You
honey?
started a Parlor account? What's your Parlor?
Yeah,
Parlor.
I don't know what the name it is yet. I
forgot?
put. I think it's Hannah 2002, Hannah House 2002 on Parlor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you want to, find out about Hannah House, we'll have her post her Parlor name on, her Hannah House page. If you like what she had to say, friend request her. If you didn't like what she had to say,
Tell
fuck
me.
off. No.
No, tell me.
Anyways, you guys kind of see where I'm going already. And yes, I'm a little bit rough around the edges. And yes, but one thing I have is a heart.
You
And
do
you
have
know
a
what?
heart, yeah.
If you can save one child,
That's
from
right.
going through something traumatic in their lives, you've succeeded. If you
Yeah.
read my posts on Facebook all the time, I talk about when you wake up in the morning and you're miserable. It rubs off on those people around you. I don't care what anybody
That's true.
says.
It does.
So you
It
wake
does.
up, you're miserable. You spread it to your kids. You spread it to other family members. Check it out. Try this. And just to appease me, wake up one day and purposely go out and praise your children. Tell them you love them. Smile, be happy, and watch the change. In the attitude. In your home.
That's true.
Now then, after that, it's up to you. To keep being that change. Cheers, guys, and have a great night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you, Ann, for joining us.
Oh,
thank you,
thank
everyone, for
you.
joining us. Have a great time.
Thank you.